happened? I had it. How can I go?
Good morning and Happy New Year. I'm really grateful that you're all here. I know many of you are cooking this morning and preparing for a smaller New Year's Day gathering at home, but I'm grateful you're here. I'm especially grateful that Bishop Reverend Harada is here to join us and offer this morning's reflection. Thank you, Sensei. And we have an old dear BCSF friend here, Enrique Alvarez from England, calling in from England to join us this morning. Enrique, really nice, Sensei, to have you here as well. We'll just a little bit of housekeeping. I'm going to invite everyone, if you haven't already, to please put your microphone on mute. And this service is being recorded, but it's the way Kevin is recording it. When we post it to YouTube, all of the attendees will not be shown. So only the speakers on speaker view will be shown. So you will not be on the YouTube. With that, let's begin with our first reading. Our first reading will be the Three Treasures 1 on page 8. And for those who do not have their service book, Kevin will kindly put it on the screen for you. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not realize the truth in this life, when will it be realized? Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we absorb ourselves in the principle of the way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves the supreme will. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we be submerged in the depths of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we live in harmony in the great assembly as disciples of Buddha and be freed from all hindrances, becoming units of true accord in the life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namandots, 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 Namandots. We will now have Sutra chanting by Reverend Keisuke, and he will be chanting Juseige on page 93 in our purple service book, and it will also be displayed on the screen. So please chant along. Reverend Keisuke.
I will start with Sambujo and following as Juseige. Jo. よ ru We respectfully call upon Amida Tathagata to enter our place of practice, joyfully scattering flowers to welcome. We respectfully call upon Shakyamuni Tathagata to enter our places of practice, joyfully scattering flowers of welcome. We respectfully call upon the Tathagata of the 10 directions to enter our places of practice, joyfully scattering flowers of welcome. 가곤 조세간 이시무조노 시간 후만족 세후조쇼각 가오무뇨코 부이나이 세슈 우사이 쇼밍은 세후조쇼각 가시조분노 묘쇼초지뽀 극교미쇼몽 세후조쇼각 니오크진쇼넨 조에시몽요 시그무조노 이시 書天人し、人力縁内向、不詳無才道、少女三苦名、交際集約難、回避知恵言、滅死根門案、閉塞小悪道、通達全宗門、高僧上満足、異様老実法、日月中十期、天候音符言、一種解放像、法世功徳法、情内集中、説法施食、供養一切仏、具足修徳本、元年信条満、徳意三愛を、如仏無下知、通達未不詳、願学営利、投資最小尊、志願若国家、大仙王感動、国書天人、東地妙見。ナマナブナマナブナマナブナマナブナマナブナマナブ願にしくどく妙の聖祭どんもない心往生安楽国。ナモ阿弥陀仏、ナモ阿弥陀仏、ナモ阿弥陀仏、ナマンダ仏、ナマンダ仏、ナマンダ仏。
Thank you, Reverend Keisuke. It is my joy and pleasure and honor to welcome this morning to offer the New Year's Day reflection, Bishop Reverend Marvin Harada, who is from OCBC, and I just found out Lori hails from OCBC as well. We are very pleased to have you and to hear your thoughts this morning. Sensei, for those who aren't familiar with OCBC, he's been there for 20 plus years, Sensei, and
34.
has 34. Wow. And has really contributed in building that temple. It is a huge, huge Sangha and very diverse, doing lots of different activities, strong junior YBA, strong Dharma school, and just really exciting. And I love that you make education a priority in your temple, Buddhist education. And so I'm very grateful you're our bishop and very grateful that you're here to join us this morning. So with that, I'll turn it over to Reverend Harada.
Thank you, Elaine. I'm going to share my screen. I have a little PowerPoint. I'm not real techie, so. Okay, can you see that okay? Okay. Okay, well, once again, thank you, Reverend Elaine, for your kind introduction, and very nice to be with all of you for New Year's Day. I understand that the bishop traditionally conducts the New Year's Day service at BCSF, and so it's my real privilege and honor to be with all of you today for New Year's Day. So first of all, a very warm Happy New Year's greetings to all of you. Well, this last year was quite a year. It was quite a year. We had a pandemic that we're still enduring. We had social justice issues. We had a presidential election, and there was just so many events of this past year that were challenging. All of our churches and temples faced many challenges. We had to close our churches and temples for services. We had to cancel our major fundraisers and events like our obons, our bazaars, and we weren't even able to have funeral services for our loved ones who passed away, in-person funeral services and memorials. So it was a most challenging year for our BCA churches and temples as well. But we all adapted and made the best of the situation. We all learned how to Zoom like we're doing now. We ministers started very innovative and creative things, putting the services on YouTube, on Facebook. And then some temples even had virtual fundraisers like virtual obons and virtual bazaars. There's a few temples that they raised more money at their virtual obon than they did the in-person one. And they didn't have to cook all the chicken. And my gosh, we saved thousands of chickens' lives, and they still made just as much on their fundraiser. And temples have virtual activities. My wife is in the temple ukulele group, and they meet 3 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they get together on Zoom and they play the ukulele and sing together. So many organizations too have found ways to meet and gather. I know our OCBC Boy Scout and Girl Scout troops are meeting by Zoom and still having their regular Scout meetings. So it's been a most challenging year, but we have adapted. So there's always something positive, even in a negative situation. I don't know if you've heard this ancient Chinese story I've shared often in Dharma talks, but the story goes there was a farmer, and the farmer had a horse. Well, the horse ran away. So the farmer lost his valuable horse. So everyone said, "Oh, that's too bad, you lost your horse." But a few days later, the horse returned with 2 other horses, 2 other wild horses. And villagers said, "Oh, it's wonderful, your horse came back, and now you have 2 horses. How wonderful." Well, the farmer's son decided to try to train one of the new wild horses to ride. So he tried to ride the new wild horse, but it bucked him off, and he broke his leg. And everyone said, "Oh, that's too bad. Your son got injured and he broke his leg." Well, a little bit later, the country went to war, and they were recruiting all the young men to go to war. But this farmer's son, because he had a broken leg, was not taken off to war. And they said, "Oh, so wonderful, your son was not taken off to war." So we never know. We never know. Something good might turn bad, something bad might turn positive. And so we have to sort of be adaptive as we all have been during this past year. And so I think there's still something to look forward to in 2021, despite the year that we have had in 2020. And so I want to share with you one of my favorite Buddhist sayings that I learned many, many years ago from Reverend Gyome Kubose. He's the author of Everyday Suchness. Maybe many of you have read the book. Reverend Kubose often used to say this Buddhist phrase in his Dharma messages. Every day is a good day. Every day is a good day. I found out that this was composed by a Chinese Zen Buddhist master named Yun Men, Unmon in Japanese. Every day is a good day. Well, when I first learned this saying, I thought, well, it's partially true. Some days are good, but some days are pretty bad. We have some good days and we have some bad days. For example, I'm a 49ers fan. If the 49ers win, oh, that's a good day. If they lose, oh, it's sort of a bad day. If the Warriors win, I'm a Warriors fan too, by the way. If the Warriors win, it's a good day. If they lose, oh, it's a bad day. If I go to my doctor for my annual physical and the doctor says, well, everything looks pretty good. Your blood pressure is good. Your sugar is good. Everything looks really good. Then, oh, that's a good day. But if the doctor says, your blood pressure is too high, your sugar is too high, you need to lose weight, oh, gee, then that's sort of a bad day. And if you follow the stock market, I don't follow the stock market, but people who do, there's ups and downs in the stock market. And depending on the day, it could be a very good day or it could be a very bad day for you. So this Buddhist saying, though, every day is a good day, is challenging our unawakened view of life, in which we see the day from my self-centered perspective, whether the 49ers won or lost, whether the stock market went up or down, whether my physical report was good or not. We look at life from this self-centered perspective, and every day is a good day is challenging us to see the absolute day grounded in the Dharma. And I'd like to share a few people, even in Shin Buddhism, who live this every day is a good day. And the first person I'd like to share is our former OCBC member, the late Kerry Nakagawa. We lost Kerry about a little over a year ago to pancreatic cancer. She was just this wonderful member. And I know you have people like this in your Sangha too, but she was this wonderful member. When I first came to OCBC, her kids were young, junior YBA and younger. She was a Dharma school teacher. She was our first, one of our first Girl Scout leaders to start the Girl Scout troop. She then later became ABA president. She was chair of the scholarship committee and this and that. She was just this wonderful, wonderful member. A little over a year ago, she was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And she passed away just 2 months after being diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. But you know what her family shared with me about her that I found quite amazing is that throughout her cancer, from day one, from the day that she found out about it, her demeanor never changed. Her demeanor never changed. She was the same person. You know, she went to the doctor. Doctor says, oh, I have bad news. You have pancreatic cancer. Oh, is that so? Oh, thank you, doctor. She goes home. Same demeanor. Then they tried chemotherapy. They tried the chemotherapy. It didn't work. Doctor had to say, I'm sorry, the chemotherapy is not working. That, there's no cure for your pancreatic cancer. Oh, is that so, doctor? Thank you very much. Still does not change. Even to the very end, she was the same person as her family always knew her. Even when she's healthy and has a good day or has a bad day, she sees something, the absolute day. I think only people who live this every day is a good day are able to live like that, to face pancreatic cancer, to face the end of their life, and yet their demeanor never changes. The other person I'd like to share is a person I never knew, but I have read her book, Ayako Suzuki. She was the wife of a Jodo Shinshu minister in Japan. She was a Bomori. They call it Bomori, the wife of a minister. And although she had been around Buddhism her entire life, when she was diagnosed with cancer, now suddenly she realized she had not come to truly meet the heart of the Buddha Dharma. And so she listened and listened all the more intently, and then came to have a very profound understanding of Nembutsu and Buddha Dharma. And she wrote a book in Japanese, Gankokuchi no Atode, or After the Diagnosis of Cancer. So how her life transformed after her diagnosis of cancer. And so a colleague of mine gave me this book some years ago, and I translated a few of her poems into English. And I'd like to share one of the poems from Ayako Suzuki's book. She writes, "Now I finally understand the Buddha's words. For this life that I have received, I am very thankful. For this body that is able to receive the Buddha Dharma, I am very thankful. For the Nembutsu that I have been able to receive, I am very thankful. And now, with inner joy and gratitude, I also receive the end of my life." Who can say something like that? As you're facing the end of your life, to say with inner joy and gratitude, that I find that quite amazing. And I think it could only be stated by someone who has touched the absolute day, who is living every day is a good day. Someone who has touched the Nembutsu as a timeless truth, something that goes even beyond life and death. Then a person is able to say with inner joy and gratitude, I also receive the end of my life. So I think if we can say that every day is a good day, why can't we say every year is a good year? Every year is a good year. No matter what last year we all said, that was a terrible year, but from this absolute standpoint, why can't we say every year is a good year? And look forward to 2021 with that spiritual perspective. I grew up on a family farm in Eastern Oregon. And on the farm, and as farmers experience, some years are good. We have a bountiful harvest. The prices are good. But some years are bad. Some years are terrible. I remember one year where we've had a bumper crop of onions. Onions was the main crop, but the price was so low, was so terrible. It wasn't even worth it to harvest the onions. And so we had to just plow them back into the ground for fertilizer for the ground. We didn't even harvest the onions. But my dad and his brother farmed together. They didn't give up after a bad year. and they didn't over celebrate after a good year. Farming was their life, year in and year out. And so many farmers, I think, live with this attitude of every year is a good year. Every year is a good year, just like every day is a good day. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. The Buddhist saying from the Chinese Zen master that I learned from Reverend Kubose that gives me wonderful teaching. Every day is a good day. And may we look forward with that kind of spirit. Every year is a good year. Every day is a good day. A day in which we come to receive the teaching of Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you so much, Sensei, for those wonderful words for this new year. We will now have Gatha. We will Asa no Uta, and Kevin will kindly display the words on the screen so you can sing along. And now we will have a closing reflection from Camille Sensei.
Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. Everyone, please Kansho for our meditative reading, which will be the English translation of Asa no Uta. Every morning, we turn to the Dharma and work diligently in our daily tasks. Every morning, we reach out to Amida and share thoughts purified by great compassion. Every morning we praise Amida's enlightenment and try to purify our own hearts. Each precious day overflows with great compassion. We dedicate our lives to this day as well. Namo Amida Butsu.
Thank you, Camille Sensei. So I would like to offer appreciations for today's service. I'd like to thank, of course, Bishop Reverend Harada for joining us from Southern California this morning. Thank you. And for your wise and pithy words of wisdom. Every day is indeed a good day. I'd also like to thank Reverend Keisuke Lee-Miyaki for leading us in chanting this morning. I'd like to thank Camille Painting Sensei for the closing meditative reading. And of course, I'd like to thank Kevin Yoza for all his audio visual engineering expertise. Thank you, Kevin. And I'd like to also give a quick shout out. Thank you to Reverend Enrique, coming in from England to join us, and Joanne dialing in from Chicago to join us this morning. Thank you. And
Happy New Year.
thanks, Joanne. And of course, to all of you for starting out the new year with the Dharma. I think it's a beautiful way to start out the year. So I thank you all for joining in this morning. Announcements. So I have, there's no service this Sunday because of today's service. The following Sunday, though, on January 10th, is our January Shotsuki Hoyo monthly memorial via Zoom. And then the following Sunday, January 17th, is our Ho'onko, right? Shinran's memorial. And we are honored to have Reverend Adams delivering the Dharma message that morning. Are there any other announcements? Okay. If there are no other announcements, this concludes this morning's New Year's Day service. Thank you all for joining in. Please stay safe, stay healthy. And you're welcome to hang out a little bit and say hello to one another. Happy New Year. Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandots. 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 Thank you all so much.